to say you move on. I know I don't belong in this fantasy world I put you and me in. I cover up both my ears, cause I know, baby, it's working. It's working. Never shake you off. You're stickier than the super glue. I can never shake you off. I'm always trying to get rid of you. I'm never shaking you off. I'm never shaking you off. I'm never shaking. I'm never shaking. I'm never shaking. I don't wanna shake you off. I don't wanna shake you off. I don't wanna shake you off.
Oh, let me pull up, see if my computer's acting right today. No Rob today, on the way to Corpus. I'm ready. Welcome to the show, folks. Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network, the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This morning, came in the office, got to do a little gym time. It was kind of nice, getting back into my routine. Rode the bike yesterday, put 20 miles on the mountain bike. Can't complain. I'm listening to a lot of different stuff. I'm getting back into my motivational stuff that I used to listen to years ago. And the reason I'm getting back into that is we are in the process of putting together 2 more funds. Let me put it this way. We're leveling up. Yes, you do have to level up from time to time. And the things that we use to motivate and drive us the last time, I'm going to use this time. Big fan of Jim Rohn. If you've never seen Jim Rohn before, his last name is R-O-H-N. No, he's not really on Twitter. He died in 2009. But a lot of his old videos are there. And I know some people don't like to listen to his voice, but I've gotten used to it over the years. So Jim Rohn is really good. Been listening to a lot of that. Catching a little bit of David Goggins. Goggins can get a little crazy. Of course, Jocko Willink and Jordan Peterson. Of course, I'm digging back into that. And the next book we're writing, oh, by the way, the first book is done. So I know Rob doesn't want me to talk about it, but the book is done. And I have a projected publication date, and it is going to blow you away how fast this thing gets out. Took me 2.5 days to write it. I just pumped it out. Rob was sitting there. I'm in the back of the room for the mastermind. He's like, man, I saw you just cranking away back there for like 2 days. I'm like, yeah, book's almost done. So book's done. We'll probably have some big unveiling. Maybe we'll talk about it at the grand opening on June 17th. If you guys want to come by and be a part of our grand opening, it's $10 for tickets. If you go to mrtxre.com, you can buy your tickets there, mrtxre.com. Go to the event calendar. It's on the far right-hand side of the page. Just click on that. June 17th, grand opening of the Texas Real Estate Investment Center. We are super excited. We've got multiple panel discussions, presentations. It's going to be. This is not a show up and don't get me wrong. There'll be a showing up and networking and all that, and then our new podcast starts that night. But it's going to be a great event. But it's going to be just filled with awesome content, incredible folks that are going to be there networking. It's going to be a really great event. So in any case, we're leveling up. We're starting more funds. We're going after bigger deals. Like, we are really cranking it into the next level. So if you guys go back and listen to some of our old shows, I referred to something called Phase Zero. And Phase Zero was all the stuff we did before we got the building, before we bought the Texas Real Estate Investment Center. It was setting up our first fund, getting those funds closed, buying more real estate. We bought, $30 million in real estate. I think we have $5 million under contract right now. So we're hoping to pick up another $40 million this year. But Phase Zero was right up to where we got the Texas Real Estate Investment Center. And we're about to complete what I like to call Phase One. Phase One is all the funds are cash flowing. Everything is rehabbed. All of our apartments, Airbnbs. By the way, those of you on in the mastermind, I am writing a message on WhatsApp right now. I had to get up and run around because we had like 900 meetings this morning. But one of the beach houses I've always wanted is available to purchase. The owner called me, and I think this will be our last Airbnb partnership we do. So if you're in the mastermind, look for it. I'm going to send it out here, hopefully in the next couple of hours. If y'all want to be a part of that deal, it's really interesting. In any case, so we're leveling up. We're getting more funds, building more, just building. So we're moving into Phase Two here. And I'm going back to all of our old motivational stuff. I've got like 2 more books I got to write this year. Big Lies in Real Estate is Rob's book. And then I've got another book called 12 Rules for Real Estate. And I think we're going to call it 12 Rules of Real Estate, Avoiding Failure and Investing or something like that. But it's definitely going to be the 12 Rules of Real Estate. Me and Brian and Rob are writing it. So I'm going back into some of my old motivational stuff. I'm pulling back some of my old videos, and I'm going through it. I'm like, all right, we got to get, and I don't want to call it motivation. Maybe that's the wrong term for it. But I'm going back and retooling my mindset. I'll give you a good example. So here's one for you. In fact, if you want to see a lot of these quotes, go to my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, and you'll know it's mine because it's a black and white photo, and I'm standing on the Hoover Dam in front of a Porsche GT3 RS. And in the background, you can see a Ferrari 488, 458, and a Lambo Huracan. Whole bunch of buddies of mine. We just went to Vegas in December 2019, rented a bunch of cars, and just did ridiculous stuff we shouldn't do. We can't even talk about. So if you're looking for me on Facebook, that's my profile. Click on it. Click on my About section. I believe it's public, and it has all my quotes. There's some real great ones in there. But we're really not about motivation. I shouldn't have to motivate you. What I'm doing is kind of retooling the mindset, bringing the mindset back to what it's like to be at the beginning. So for me, it's not really motivation. It's what mindset do I need to have to start over again? Because that's what we're doing. Writing books, starting funds, going after bigger deals. Now, don't get me wrong. We're adding to our foundation. We've got a great foundation in real estate. But we're adding some things to get ready for the next level. And if your goal is to continue to grow in life, you're going to have to do this cycle probably every 12 to 18 months. That's what I've noticed for us. It's about every phase is about 12 to 18 months. They may get progressively longer as deals get bigger, as funds get larger, as we open more real estate investment centers. But you go through these phases, and we're moving into phase 2. I'll give you a great example of one of these quotes. I hear this all the time. Jason, you've changed your mind. You've changed your mind. And I'll say, no, I didn't change my mind. I updated my belief system. That's a completely different chain of events. Oh, yeah, you changed your mind on X, Y, and Z. Nope. We looked at some data. We looked at events occurring in the marketplace, and we updated our belief system. Yeah, I rarely, quote, change my mind. I'll tell you, if you've got one goal in your life with regards to mindset, it's to learn how to think critically. And if you don't do this all the time, it's a little painful. But you have to hold 2 competing ideas in your head at the same time. When we get back from the break, I'm going to talk about today's theme for the show. It's Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Always forget to close this one. Okay. Welcome back, Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Today we're doing a little mindset training. Rob and I and Brian are in the process of taking it to the next level, moving into phase 2. More funds, more real estate, bigger deals, more money. So last couple of weeks I've been going back to the things I used to listen to when I started real estate in 2013. And I'm sharing a couple of those with you today. I don't change my mind, I update my belief system. I've had a ton of growth on the personal side of my life. Business obviously has been doing fantastic. But I've had a lot of growth in the last 2 years on the personal side. And this is just like real estate. You kind of bebop along through life and you encounter some things. You're like, well, I don't know. Is that a skill I want to acquire? Is that a part of my personal mantra I should don? Are these business activities or personal activities things I'm okay with because they get me closer to my goal? Or are they not? So I don't change my mind, I just update my belief system. It's very interesting when people ask you a question, hey, what do you think about X? What do you think about Y? What do you compare? Would you do X over Y and vice versa? And a lot of times you don't have enough information. And for me, I was given all kinds of choices and alternatives that at first I was like, that could work. Okay, I'm cool with that. I could see how this could fit in to my goals. And then as you begin to update your belief system, in other words, as these events and choices become uploaded into your brain, and then you start acting on them, your belief system starts to run into incongruencies. And then you're forced to do what? Now you've got to make a choice. And that choice is updating your belief system. It either affirms the things that you're doing are correct, or you realize you've made some errors in judgment. This is how Jim Rohn puts it. The great thing about truth, you hear this all the time, the truth will set you free. Oh, and it sounds so great. Everybody just tell the truth will set you free. That's not what the truth is for. What the truth is actually for is it allows you to amend errors in your judgment. That's really what the truth is designed to do. It'll set you free, but for either affirming the things you are doing are right, or it allows you the opportunity to amend errors in judgment. That's why the truth is so important. Because here's the problem. When someone says the truth will set you free, you miss the rest of it. Because the truth will set you free, but there's got to be some action. Oh, I want truth and transparency. Great, now what? Because here's what happens. The truth will set you free, but then we have to do something with that. It either affirms what we're doing is correct, or it says, hey, we have messed up. We've got some errors that need to be corrected. And that's really what the truth is designed to do. So I don't change my mind, I update my belief system. And how that belief system is updated is we look at the truth. And that truth really is, are the things we're doing promoting the goal we're trying to achieve? Or are they taking away from it? And that process of discovery, of change, isn't you changing your mind. It's looking at the results you're getting by the actions that you're performing. And it either affirms those things are correct and keep going, or you draw back and say, ooh, we made some mistakes here. And those mistakes we made, the beauty of the truth is it allows us to make those changes, update our belief systems, get more in line with our goals. That's really what's going on there. So whenever we go through our cycles, and we're moving into phase 2 at this point, that's the question we're asking ourselves. Does this align with the things that we're trying to accomplish? That's the real question. One of the reasons I get so worked up on social media, and even at real estate events, networking events, professional organizations, I hear people talk about, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to be here, I want to be Great. But your actions are not congruent with the results you want to get. In fact, not only are they not congruent, they're detrimental to the things that you want to be able to do in your life. That's the big challenge. So this whole idea that truth will set you free is absolutely true, provided it's affirming the things you're doing are correct. And if it's not, it allows you the opportunity to amend those actions. Today's theme for the show is stop spouting the rules and play the game. Stop spouting the rules and play the game. I tell people I meet all the time, these seminar junkies, it's usually who they are, the real estate seminar junkies. I tell them all the time, you know more than me about real estate. I tell them this all the time. Man, Jason, have you heard of this? Like land trust, wrap, sub 2, owner finance, and then we're going to take the title in this LLC, and then we're going to do this flippity-doo-dah deed thing. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. You could literally be speaking to me in Japanese. I don't even know what any of that means. I've done over 1,000 deals. I have no idea what you just told me. Well, man, it's this like new technique. Let me tell you about my technique. It's buy it, fix it up, rent it. That's it. Buy, fix, rent. And when it gets too expensive to hold, you sell it. It's convenient. Fits right on a little bar napkin. What are those things? 4 inches by 4 inches? Right there on the bar napkin, I write it down. What do you do? This is my business model. It's that simple. But a lot of folks love to run around spouting the rules instead of playing the game. And I'll tell you what, as a kid, I can remember playing games and learning the rules in real time. What better way do you learn the rules than when you play the game? Otherwise, the rules don't make any sense. Rules make no sense in absence of the game. We get back from the break. We're going to talk more about the game and the rules. It's Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Okay. Welcome back, Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. We're talking about updating belief systems. We're talking about the truth. And what we're really talking about is playing the game. See, here's the reality of all this real estate investing stuff. It's the same, I saw a great post. There's a couple of guys I follow on Instagram, and I have to actually pull up the account. I can't remember what it is, but it's a weightlifting and I don't want to call it dieting group because it's not really, it's just cleaning up your diet. That's really all it is. Hey man, eat this instead of this. And the guys posted this little infographic today, and they said, look, because of social media, we're so fixated on getting the perfect squat or the perfect deadlift, the perfect bench press, or the perfect macro for your lunch. Just the right amount of protein and not too many carbs. And he said, at the end of the day, none of that really matters. Just go do it. You'll learn what works and what doesn't when you start doing it. It's the stopping and spouting the rules that keeps you from the action, keeps you from the discovery of what works and what doesn't. That's really what this is. It's much like healthcare. Your doctor practices medicine. And why do they call it a practice? Because it's the art of discovery. Your doctor understands the science behind their specialty. But there's a bit of practice. There's an art there that has to take place. And where practice collides with art is the process of discovery. I've got a new doc. We started working on something about 2 weeks ago. And I can already tell it's like a 900 times better. Like I was feeling good before, I'm feeling real good now. And what's interesting is it's like, yeah, we can look at all the medical tests. We go through and look at all the blood work and all that. He's like, all right, so how you feeling here? How is this doing? How are you doing in the gym? How's your mental focus been? And he goes, all right, we're going to do this for 4 to 5 weeks. We're going to get some blood work, and then we're going to go through it all again. Because the numbers will tell us one story. But really, it's the activity that will let us know if we're getting towards our goals. The problem is that real estate and a lot of these things, whether it's health and fitness, it's investing, it's relationships, what ends up happening is aggrieved parties spout the rules but don't play the game. Like playing the game is where that discovery takes place. Playing the game allows you to learn what will and will not work. We can sit on the sidelines and post on Reddit and Facebook and Instagram and all that about what might and might not work. Or we can go out there and start doing it. And the doing it is fun. You go out and start producing that action. And then you get a result. And you go back to your mastermind or your group of guys that are in this fitness group. Maybe you're preparing for a big race, big competition. And you go back and share with your group of guys or gals or your mastermind group and go, hey, these are the results. This is the action I took, and this is the results I achieved. Now what? Well, they're getting you closer to your goal or further away. Or is there a better method to get you even faster results? But the problem is, if you're playing the game and just spouting the rules, that process of discovery doesn't occur. You've got to get in and actually play. Let me bring this down to what's going on in the real estate market here in Houston, Texas. A friend of mine posted a meme on Facebook that said, I can't wait to buy all these houses in foreclosures that investors are paying 90 cents on the dollar for. And me and a buddy of mine, Chris, posted, haha, joke's on you, you're missing out on the upside. There must have been 100 replies that were like, yeah, bro, I know what you're talking about, man. It's like this real estate market's so hard, it's way too expensive, there's going to be a crash. But the guys that are buying hundreds of doors a year, like me and Chris and a couple other guys, were like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. You're either not playing the game or you're playing the game at such a low level, you really don't see the big picture. Why? I'm not here to change your mind. What I'm here to do is get you to take some action. And when you take that action, you'll begin to experience the truth. And I will tell you that truth changes the more you do. I always find it fascinating when people lecture me about the truth and they tell me it's absolute. I'm like, no, it's not. Because I can tell you what's true for you at a couple $1 million a year in real estate and what's true for me at 50 million is a completely different ballgame. Like, we're not even playing the same game anymore. I don't pretend that I'm playing the same game as Grant Cardone. The guy's got $2.2 billion in real estate. I don't pretend to be playing the same game as Sam Zell is. If you don't know who Sam Zell is, he's the most successful real estate investor on the planet. What he knows is truth and what I know is truth are two totally different things. So you step back and say, am I trying to build $1 billion portfolio or $1 million? The steps may be similar, but I'll tell you, as you're applying that action in your life, the truth will reveal itself to you, and then you've got two choices to make. Is this getting me closer to my goals? Yes, keep going. If it's not, then it allows us the opportunity to update our belief system. And I think this is where people get really, really wrecked. It's one of my favorite terms my brother uses all the time is cognitive dissonance. That's really what happens. It's that the brain starts to take this information in and goes, well, I thought this was a good idea because it was cool and like everyone's kind of doing it, like, but I think it's this way. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, this is really how it works. What you believe to be true at 20 deals is completely different at 200. I can tell you that's absolutely true. It works in athletic pursuits as well. You know, what you think is true for the Cat 5 racer, Cat 5 competitor, and the guy at the Tour de France is totally different. Watching Cat 5 cycling, road cycling, is like, it's like roller derby. These guys are killing each other. That's where all I swear that's where everybody gets injured on the way up, is that Cat 5. It's just broken collarbones and arms and all. I mean, it's just crazy. Amateur cyclists, and that doesn't happen very often in the Tour de France. It does, but I can tell you that it's a totally different game. And everybody likes to run around and spout the rules as if they're truth. oh, Jason, you don't understand. This is the truth. No, that's the truth. Like I said, whether it's relationships or business or whatever, this is the truth. I'm like, no, I don't think so. You can spout the truth all day, or you can play the game. And I'd play the game and let the truth reveal itself through the game. We get back from the break, talk a little bit about playing the games. Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Is this our fourth one? Okay. Welcome back, Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. A little different show today. Been going back, digging deep in some of my, I don't like to call this stuff motivational. Like, I don't find it motivational. It really gets me back to that beginner mindset. Like, I'm starting something new. What's the beginner thing, if that makes sense? I heard this great quote the other day, and it had to do with martial arts. And it was very interesting. And they said, you've achieved mastery when you're more concerned about your opponent than you are you. And I always found that to be true when I was training. You get to a certain level, and you're more concerned with your opponent than you are with you. Because you can really destroy your opponent. You can end someone's life. And you can give them some life-changing injuries. So mastery is achieved when you're more concerned with their success than yours. That's probably a better way to put that. They may not realize it at the time, but that's exactly what's happening. That's when true mastery is achieved. I'm more concerned with your success than I am with mine. No, rest assured, I'll get my success. Kind of the joke Rob and I have is like, this is all, we're just running up the score at this point. Now, we've got some other things we want to do. We're going to start doing some charity stuff, but we're just running the score up at this point. He made a commitment to this organization for 36 months. I'm 43. I'm kind of having fun with all this stuff. So, I mean, who thought I would have ever written a book, right? So for us, it really is just running up the score. But it's something Jim Rohn also says. It's not the money. Earning $1 million is not as awesome as it sounds. What is interesting is the person you become to get to that level. And I can tell you, I don't worry about money anymore. And it's not because I got it. It's because if it all disappeared tomorrow, I could build it back twice as fast and probably even bigger than I did before. And it doesn't even have to be in real estate. Like, that's an incredible amount of confidence. And if you talk to any business owner that have been doing this for a long time, they will tell you the same thing. In fact, most entrepreneurs file for bankruptcy 3 times in their career. Unfortunately, it's just part of the deal, right? Some things are in your span of control, some are not. I mean, it is hard for me to take someone seriously who's been in the business for more than a couple of years who hasn't lost money. That's a lesson. There's a lesson there. Okay, we want to avoid that, right? That's obviously part of the lesson. But going back to some of the original stuff that I listened to a couple of years ago is reminding me what it was like to be a beginner again. And I'm fond of saying this, one day has to be your first day. Like if it's not today, then it's got to be tomorrow. 1 year has to be your rookie season. You can pick at any time when that's going to be because it'll be your first season. That's your rookie season. Yeah, you're going to mess stuff up, that sort of thing. Now, I will tell you this. The most dangerous season is your second and third season. Your rookie season, you're kind of bebopping along. You don't really have like huge expectations. Well, I'd like to do 10 or 15 deals this year. You do 30. You're like, wow, we really crushed it. And then you go into the second season, you go, I'm going to double it or I'm going to triple it. And you realize, oh, wait a second. Something's changed here. You don't have the skill set in the marketplace to recognize something changed in the marketplace and my business hasn't pivoted. You haven't learned that lesson yet. It's an expensive lesson to learn because it really bruises your ego. Go through year one, we're crushing it. We're like making all this money. We're like famous on Facebook, Instagram. And all of a sudden year two hits and you're like, oh, uh-oh. What happened? And then you're rolling into year three. You're going to get beat up in year two. And you're rolling into year three. Now what's your business look like? This is that whole process of playing the game. You don't get to know the rules until you play the game. And part of playing the game is losing. Heard a great quote yesterday when I was on the bike. You don't get to take the championship winning shots without losing the championship winning shots. I think people always miss that. They see the bottom of the ninth grand slam to win the World Series, but they don't see all the other championships that same player lost when they were sitting on home plate, taking their cuts. Like that is how life works. And we walk into real estate expecting it to work differently than life. We expect that we went to a seminar, now we know the rules, we think that's the truth, and when we encounter something that's contrary to that in the marketplace, we think we've been lied to. Like this is so applicable to every aspect of your life. We're not talking about just real estate today. Because this is universal. It's ubiquitous in the human experience. You're going to take the L's, the losses. That's just part of this deal. However, the lessons you'll learn when you take those losses will far outweigh the lessons you'll learn when you win. The truth will set you free. It will, provided it affirms the things that you're doing are correct, moving you towards your goals. But it also allows you to amend your errors. In other words, not make the same mistakes over and over and over again. I really think that's the definition of purgatory, is being stuck in this milieu of misery where you're making the same mistakes over and over again. Just the same stupid mistakes over and over. And you start, I see this with friends. They start looking around and going, why is my life not improving? Well, it's simple. You're making the same choices over and over again. And they'll have people in and out of their lives that they look around and they go, well, where did this person go? Well, you kept making the same mistakes. They moved on. Business is the same way. Well, why am I not seeing these deals? Well, you're making the same mistakes. Those deals are given to those who don't make those mistakes anymore. It's a critical part of learning. You haven't learned that lesson, ergo, you don't get to go to the next level. That's just how it works. I don't understand. I'm like mired in this career and this not so great relationships, and my business isn't going anywhere. You're making the same mistakes. The truth will set you free provided that it affirms what you're doing is correct and it gives you the opportunity to amend those errors. I'll be right back. Short message. Appreciate you guys listening. Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio message. Texas Real Estate Radio Network. We're going to save that show and do something with that. How late are you here today?